Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video to the channel. So in this video, we're going to be doing a very low level moneymaker, which actually outperforms quite a lot of high tier PVM content. Now, this method is going to make you roughly between 4 to 5 mil per hour, and depending on combat levels, this could be heavily AFK. Now, to kill this monster, we're going to have to go to the Fremennik Slayer dungeon, and it's going to require level 30 Slayer. We're going to go and tackle an hour worth of Pythons. Now, Pythons, for whatever reason, seem to have a very high drop table. The price on their ashes are mainly the reason they're going to be this GP per hour, but I thought it was worthwhile taking the main account for a little bit of an exploration. Let's go and camp this for an hour and see how much GP we can make. Now, one thing I would say is for 30 Slayer, Pythons are pretty strong in terms of their DPS. They've got a pretty decent range attack, which is going to cause you some damage. So if you're a lower level and you do have 30 Slayer, just be careful about these monsters. You might need to bank a couple of times per task, but they will bring you in some profit to build your account up. Now, this is going to be also after the rebalancing of a lower level and early level game. So we might actually have some brand new drops in the drop table as well. I think Pythons were a little bit higher than some of the monsters they've done, but who knows, we'll go and find out anyway. Now, Pythons are going to be in this room here. You can jump across the chasm if you've got high enough agility, but you can also just run around as well. Now, they're going to be level 38 and they're going to be weak to range. These monsters can pack a little bit of a punch. I've tried to kill them on Group Iron Man, low level accounts before, and they have caused a fair bit of damage, but they're going to be pretty easy if you're a high enough level. But what I've taken is pretty much a basic melee setup just to go in AFK Vs for an hour and just see how we can go in terms of cash per hour as well. And what we'll do towards the end is we'll go and evaluate how we've done in terms of a sort of like an hour or so, value the drops and see where we go from there. Now, what we're going to be needing most in terms of these drops are going to be these impious ashes. These impious ashes are going to be most for value in terms of this monster. But as you can see, even at higher levels and my levels, I am still getting some damage from these Pythons as well. So definitely something you need to just prepare for as well. Now, what I'm going to go and do is go and pretty much do an hour, see how we get on, collect all the ashes. That's what we've got the magic note paper for, is to go and collect these ashes. And then we'll report on the GP per hour and how good they really are in terms of cash. Now, just before we just finish for that as well, the price for Impious Ashes is 1.8k each. And as well as that, there'll be some other things as well. The Willow Wood Spiritual is also a very, very strong drop to get because that's a decent price. And also Gold Stone Spirits. But this will be one of those methods where kills per hour will really start to show. But you definitely need to be prepared in terms of taking some damage because these definitely kick it out as well. So what I'm going to do is go in AFK for an hour, see how we get on. I might have to even pop a Vampora because they are giving me some grief. And we'll come back and report on what's going on. But as you can see by my armor, I'm not sort of holding back. I've got full masterwork, I've got the scythe, and yeah, we seem to be struggling on that part. So we'll report back very, very soon, and we'll see where we go from there. So one thing which is noticeable about this is that you get an insane amount of kills per hour. So we're roughly going to be 1.6k Pythons per hour. 2, you're going to get a decent amount of wood spirits, which is going to actually sort of top a decent amount GP on. And also, if you have the scavenger perk, you get a lot of components doing this method as well. By having such a low level monster and also like killing them at a rapid speed, you're going to get a lot of sort of components through scavenging, which is really, really nice. Now, one thing which I've just picked up on is that the main bulk of your cash is going to be from the Impious Ashes. Now, if you are using no paper like I am, you're going to pretty much lose about a third of your profit based on the current price for no paper, which would make this more around 3 to 3.5 mil, depending on how you're going to do for GP. Now, from the wiki sort of push this towards like 4 to 4.5 mil per hour. Also said it's 324k magic XP an hour, which is quite crazy. But the reason why it's valued at that much higher than what I'm currently thinking it is because it's sort of working off the basis of you're going to use the Death Note Relic. Now, to do this, you're going to need 108 archaeology, and to be fair, to many people who've got 108 archaeology, this isn't going to be a realistic method. So I'm not going to quite put it at 4.5, but I am going to put it at that 3 to 3.5 mil per hour sort of mark, because I think that is realistic for a mid-level account to get, because you will be using magic no paper. Now, one thing which raises up as an issue, especially if you're going to do this on a mid-level account, is how you're going to either heal or keep your prayer up for the full hour to be able to sort of work off it as well. Now, there's a few options here. I would go for a Scrimshaw Vampirism. That is a very cheap way if you're looking to melee. You can go for Powder of Penance, but that is quite expensive. Obviously, you can use the Penance Aura if the Aura is still available. Obviously, Auras are looking to be removed from the game at some point in the near future. But yeah, that's going to sort of hamper a little bit on terms of your GP per hour. But if you do have the Death Note Relic, you want to do this as a method, I do think you might have some better options, but this can definitely be a valid way to use that Death Note perk, because you're going to get a lot of components. You're also going to get a lot of ashes, which will automatically be noted with the Death Note relic as well. So I would highly recommend this if someone is looking to camp to make profit while also getting a lot of components as well, because I am surprised at just how good this is. I haven't got Scavenging 4, so it can be even better than what I'm currently experiencing at the minute. In a minute, it is pretty decent to do, to be fair. So yeah, what I'm going to do is we're nearly at the end of our second overload dose. We're going to probably go a full overload, I think, because as well, I'm just going to get some more components. That's going to be beneficial. But that's just some things I've noticed through the first sort of like 2 overloads worth of this, is that you're getting a lot of GP from wood spirits, which is nice. The magic note paper will rack up in terms of a cost over the hour. If you're looking at 1600 kills per hour, that's sort of roughly going to be how much note paper you're going to need, which is roughly going to be about 1.2 mil-ish at a guess. But these things hit you. Like you've just seen, I've just put my Excalibur on to go in charge, and I ran out of prayer because I didn't click on the crystal, and I took a lot of damage very quickly. So you need to be careful here. Having perks like Devotion can be really nice, or if you're just going to be a low level doing this, maybe even not even doing the aggression potion and just sort of like clicking them one at a time and just trying not to get them all on you, just to avoid like the amounts of attacks going. But again, like in terms of a method both for training and also like upgrading a mid-level, this is very, very solid. Like the drops are consistent, the ashes will have a decent price. Now, what I'll do when we finish this overload is I'll go to the Grand Exchange and put these ashes on the Grand Exchange. I have a feeling that these could go above mid-price, because really, who does this? So we can see what that's like in terms of GP there. But yeah, what I'm going to do then is just going to go and finish another 4 overload doses. We've done 240 for sort of 10 minutes. So if we're going to times that by 6, we won't be too far actually off like 1600 kills. I had to go and recharge my summoning as well, so that took a little bit of time. But yeah, not too bad. So I'm going to go and keep on doing this for a little bit longer, and then we'll report back with some profits as well. Obviously, for a mid-level, you're going to get slightly less kills, which means you'll use less note paper anyway, so that's not too bad. But it is a very decent way to sort of get some work done, to be fair. 15 crimsons isn't horrific for 10 minutes work, especially when you're really doing this more for like the GP side. And yeah, I'm quietly surprised by these in terms of money making method. I didn't think they'd be as okay as this. We need to realize as well, this is a level 30 Slayer creature. It ain't bad. So there we go, a full overload has been used there. Not too bad at all, but as you can see, the components have been flying in. So it was worthwhile doing that just for the components if you're a sort of like a high level. It can be an option compared to doing the spiders. You're going to get nowhere near as much, but it's a pretty chill one to do. But these monsters hit, so you're going to have to probably come in with a slightly different setup. Maybe you go penance for an hour. Maybe use penance powder, although it's a little bit pricey and it kind of negates the GP benefits of here. But it is a solid way to go and train an account on a mid-level. And for a high level, it's a really good way to get some GP while also like getting a few components on the side as well. So in terms of the price check, what we're going to get. So we're going to get 1.4 mil in ashes. We actually weren't too far off like how much you're going to get per hour. So that's not too bad. The teak and gold really aren't worth too much. It's more of a willow, which is going to be a decent chunk of change. That's 420k for that. That's actually generally not bad. And I do think there might be the chance we could sell the ashes for a little bit more as well. So 2 mil per hour. Again, you're going to have to sort of take away the cost of the note paper. So around 3.5 mil. But if you can try and sell those ashes for a little bit higher, which I'm just going to go and do now, I'm just going to go through them on the Grand Exchange, see if we can sell them for a little bit higher, you can definitely make some more money. But in terms of something which is only going to sort of like require level 30 Slayer, this is a very good thing to camp and train up a mid-level account. So what I'm just going to do really quickly is just go and test the price of the impious ashes. And this is what you should do with any form of drop you get. You need to check the margin because you can quite happily make some more money from this as well. So that's going to come in at just under 2,000 coins. So we're actually going to make some more cash from that as well, which is really nice actually. Just under 2,000 coins is pretty decent, and it's actually going to be an additional 150 GP per one. So if we go 1988, that's going to bring in another 100k for that as well. So we're going to put all that on the Grand Exchange to sell. Again, decent little 35 minute trip. But I would say like it's going to be more around 3 mil per hour. Really good way to train your lower level, sort of mid-level accounts. But what I would say is you need to think of a couple of things. One is how you're going to heal your account, because you are going to take damage unless you can sustain your prayer for the full time you want to do it as well. Magic and range are probably better to do in terms of like using for it. They are weak to bulk, so I would probably say like if I was to do it again, I'd probably look at using range, because range would probably be a bit better. range would probably be a bit better in terms of like the damage and stuff like that. But yeah, very solid option. Again, with 7-day bond very soon, I think it's next week I'm going to start doing it. It's going to start experiencing some of the Slayer stuff. We're going to pick up some Slayer tasks and start sort of like exploring that mid-level, low-level Slayer as well. And hopefully we'll be able to show you guys some really good tasks. And hopefully you guys will enjoy the content. However, I'm going to wrap this video up. Again, Pythians still outperforming things like QBD, General Grador, and quite a few decent sort of money making methods as well. Like this sort of outperforms a load of Slayer monsters between like 80 and 99. So don't knock it. And this is why RS3 is so good. It's so unique that some of the lower stuff can really outperform high level stuff as well. So yeah, I'm going to wrap the video up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.